to jump on here today. And actually, I thought about not coming on today. And part of the reason is for Blackout Tuesday. And, I really, really not sure what is the right thing to do other than this right here. This is what I feel right now in my heart and what I feel that we should be doing, or at least myself, my family, and just for others, is to really just pause and listen. And like I said, part of me was just going to not do this and just say, you know what? We're going to take a day off and we're just going to allow everyone to kind of just be there, be present, and listen. So we're not taking any focus away from this situation, which is just awful. It's unbelievable. It doesn't seem real. It seems like we're in a really, really just a crazy time amongst the world. And the coronavirus is one thing, and then the situation that happens that now has turned people against each other, but then also uh, just violence and just everything that's going on. And it just seems very unsettling, but also you're hoping that this will bring light to a situation, and hopefully the world and the United States and just everyone can learn from this, but also can be better. And I think, myself personally, like the conversations that I'm going to be having, with my family, which I already have, is just really what is in your heart. Like we were all raised differently. We were all raised, some were raised, with racism being in their bloodline. And even though you don't agree with it, it's just reality. And so what we need to do here is we need to, we can be the change. It's not how I was raised. But I can't say what my ancestors did, like three lines down. But all I can do is what I feel is right for myself. And I just look at every single person as a human being. It doesn't matter the color of your skin. It doesn't matter, where you come from. It comes down to values and just being good to one another. You can look at religion as a very similar thing. Like people all have different beliefs, like who is right, who is wrong. To me, and I'm not going to get into religion here. I'm not going to go down that road because that's a whole nother can of worms. But I just wanted to come on here and be real and be honest and be upfront with you guys. Like I was thinking about not coming on today. I was going to do an email promotions coffee talk, but I decided to pause that because of the situation, and I do think that we need to pause for a minute. We need to not be focusing on ourselves here for a minute, but like thinking about what's going on and how can we play a role in that. And that can be just with the communications that you're having with your family, with friends. It starts within the home, I believe. It starts, with what we are, putting out there into the universe and how our actions are affecting all of that. So yeah, there's not really much that I wanted to do here on this coffee talk other than be with you guys and have you guys be here with me and just kind of just see how you're feeling. Like how is this affecting you? Again, for some of us, it just seems like surreal. It just seems like it's a dream. Like, is this really happening? Are people really doing this to one another? Are people real? Like, it's just almost like it's a movie, right? It's almost like we're living in a time right now that's a movie, and we can't say to ourselves, "Oh, that's just a movie." There's going to be a happy ending, or the good guy is always going to come out on top, or whatever, right? And so, because of that, it just makes you say, like, "Wow, am I going to wake up from this and this this tragedy didn't happen, right? And you know, just so many thoughts as far as what do you do moving forward, and all you can really do is think about how can you personally affect the world? How can you positively affect the world by your actions? And the actions, sometimes the actions are, not being silent, but I guess not being opinionated is one step in the right direction, but also being considerate and understanding that, we don't know what it feels like to be on the other side. And it doesn't matter. Again, we're talking in this case about race, but we could be talking about, being gay or, anything that you would feel as you're a minority of some kind could make you feel as though you're living inside of a shell and you're labeled, right? And so we need to understand, like, I don't know what it feels like. Um, and I try to put myself in those shoes, and I'm very compassionate. I'm very, thoughtful, and I want to be, you know, a person that loves everyone, right? Like anyone that is a good person, right? I don't care how much money you have. I don't care the color of your skin. I don't care your sexuality. I don't care about any of that. I care about the person, right? The person in the shell, the person in the body, the heart, the soul. That's what I'm focusing on. So I'm just curious, guys. I want to see what you guys are feeling. Again, I almost didn't do this today, and I said, you know what? I have a commitment to you guys, and a commitment is to show up and be real and be raw. And this is a day that I'm just like thinking to myself, like, what is the right thing to do? What am I supposed to do? Right? Like, what am I? And not like what am I forced to do? What can I do that could help in some way? And that could be me coming on here and sharing with you and having you be like, you know what? I'm glad Scott came on today. It gave me a different, I guess, way of thinking of this, or something that I should be silencing for a minute, just to be considerate and to, allow the venting to happen, right? Like that needs to happen. It's part of healing. We all kind of know that. So I'm just going to kind of dive in here real quick, guys. Like I said, I don't have an agenda today other than I just wanted to come on here and just be with you guys for our coffee talk. And just know that, it's a crazy time right now. Super crazy. And I would love to sit here and tell you that, Scott's feeling 100% positive today. I still feel like we have a bright future. I do. I believe that change is happening. And sometimes it's kind of like, we've all heard that sometimes something bad has to happen in order for something good to happen. And this is probably one of those things. It sucks for the people that are suffering. It sucks for, just people that are directly being affected by this, whether it's, their businesses getting robbed, right? Or people getting hurt in the streets, or just some of the things that are happening, like, to good people, right? And so, yeah, I'm kind of like in awe. I'm just kind of like, is this really happening? And how do we move forward as, people, that are able to go out there and feel safe in our own country, right? And I know there's always been crime, and there's always been the fear of, like, there's an area you got to be careful, like that stuff. But now it almost feels like it doesn't matter. Like, you could go 10 minutes from my house right now, and they're closing Walmart and Target at 5 o'clock because of what's happening. Like, seriously, like 10 minutes away. So it doesn't matter where you live, what town you're in. You're feeling that, and I mean, maybe you aren't, but I am. And it's kind of like, you're going to pump gas and you're like, gosh, am I in a safe place? Right? Like, these are things that we haven't really had to face. And so because of that, it's changing now. The way that you go is just, first of all, we have to wear masks now for the most part in any place that we go, right? It's crazy. You're seeing commercials about, people wearing masks, like how we're starting to cope with this new reality, and all of that. Like, it's just insane, right? I went in the other day, first time I went into the grocery store, and I literally went in and my whole thought process was totally different now. It was totally different. Walked in, I'm like, okay, there's someone over there. I'm staying like 10, 15 feet away from over there. Okay, I got my mask on, by the way. I got my mask, and I'm going in, and I'm going into my one spot where I need to go. And that's it, right? I'm going there. If someone's there, I'm going there, right? So I'm avoiding people. It just feels weird. And then I see some people that don't care. And I'm like, how is that even possible? Like, there's something going on right now, and this person doesn't even care, right, about this. And I'm like, is it just me? And then I look around, and there's like everybody in the store except for like 5 people that don't have masks on. So there's that we're dealing with, right? A whole new reality. And so today is really a day that I'm going to be somewhat pausing and listening and evaluating, in a sense, and also, giving the space, giving the time for, what today is about, right? Like, having it be, Blackout Tuesday, right? And like, that's there to really allow us to all, as a whole, just sit there almost in a moment of silence to understand what's happening. So again, not really sure what the right thing is, other than, it does start in your heart, and it starts, from there, it starts there, and then that goes into your home, and then we go out into the world. So I just, again, just kind of things that are going through my head right now. What's up, Mike? Mike's smiling in the house, always making me smile. Mike, thank you for coming on, brother. Salam is in the house. Lydia, what's up? Good morning, everyone. My morning meetings got canceled. So glad I get to listen in again today. Iva, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate you. Kate, good morning. Glad you came out today. Routine is calming. It would have been more unsettling to not have our coffee talk today. Kate, that means a lot, actually, that you said that. Because like I said, I was like, man, is it wrong for me to go on and do a coffee talk? Is it wrong? Should I be in dead silence and not even communicate on social, not even communicate through an email, not even communicate? And again, I think it comes down to doing the right thing. So how do you do that, right? How do you do that? Well, in my heart, I know that people that are on this coffee talk are my people. So I think if we were together, we would be having a conversation, probably just as we are right now, right? And to you, to what you had said, to your point, yeah, routine is calming. You're 100% right. Let's see here. Let's see. Morning, Justin. What's up, man? Ashley, good morning. Good to see you as well. Troy, what's up? Good morning, my brother. Good morning, Susan from Myrtle Beach. How are you? James in the house. What's up, James? Let's see. Good morning from Denmark. The visible. What's up? Cool. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, watching America from Denmark is like watching a movie. Hope you guys get safe again. Yeah, it's kind of interesting for you to kind of be seeing it as, looking at it from the outside in. So I was curious to wonder. I was wondering what it did look like to other countries. It does feel like a movie, to be honest with you. I'm glad you did come out today. You have a great message. Thanks for that. No problem. Derek says, feeling like it's a nightmare. Yeah, it can, and I guess what I'm here to say, guys, is like, yes, like whenever you have something like this happen, let's acknowledge it. It's okay to feel it, right? For a minute. And then we got to ask ourselves, what can we do? Just ourselves. What's our thing that we can do? And I don't know what yours is. I just know what mine is, right? Which what makes me feel as though I'm doing the right thing to help this situation, right? And my thing, like I said, you got to start with the heart. Like, what is in your heart? And then from there, like I said, then it comes into your home. And then from there, the messaging and stuff that is done there will then, it'll go out into the world. And so whatever you have the ability to use to reach people, whether that's a text, right? It's one person at a time, right? And that's, I think, the important thing here. I'm not big on going on social media and trying to go out there and it's just it's not me to go out there and try to be this massive voice. Because again, I don't feel as though I want to be in that situation. I would rather do the small pebbles and then let those get broadcasted out there. So again, it's to each its own. I just think that it's one person at a time, and we got to think to ourselves, what is one thing that we can do to help this situation? Yeah, change begins with you, the man in the mirror. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I know. And Derek, yeah, you're right. We're going back in time as racism has came back with a vengeance. It was always there, and now our children have to go through it. I know, and I can't. Again, I have a lot of black friends, and I just can't imagine being, being them at this point. The only thing I can do is support them. Um, and they know who I am, right? Like they know that there has never been a barrier or a judgment or profiling, like none of that stuff. It's always about people, right? The person. Um, but yeah, I can't either. I can't. And I wish there was something that could be done that could immediately be a ripple effect and change that for our young people too. And yeah, I don't. It's gonna take a while. It's gonna take years. And it's like I said that I said it to my wife, my son, my daughter. I said, man, like this whole thing, like why? Like why would someone do that in the first place? And then it's like we at least I would think that we were kind of over like, this you know racism, and not that we were over it, but you would think it was getting better, and then all of a sudden it's almost like you're taking 100 steps, 1,000 steps back. And it's like, yeah, it's kind of like the marketer that ruins it for everyone. It's the same idea, right? You start to get like, okay, no, good. There's good marketers out there. Yay. And then all of a sudden you get, one person that just ruins it, ruins it for everyone. Yeah. So I don't even have any words to say. Yeah. Let's see here. Let's see. Yeah, Susan said, watched on Twitter last night, could not believe my eyes. Scary. Uh, yeah, Jennifer. Yep. I'm speechless too. Yeah. Comes race prejudice. Yep. Yep. Uh, yep. Yeah, Derek, you're right. Yep. Black people have been living this nightmare like no one else on earth. Yeah. I agree with you. It's makes me sick to think about it and to think about what we're going through and what we're going to be going through. Um, yeah, I'm not sure who is saying this because it just says Facebook user, but venting and protesting are good, but the violence needs to stop. The violence is taking away from the true problem. My family isn't safe from this violence. I agree with that. Right? It's like the violence has you don't fix something with more violence, right? That does not fix the problem, right? Like love and compassion and knowing that we can all rise up and we can all help this as a as a as the world, right, like as people coming together as a community, right? Yeah, it's I'm just reading through some of these comments. Yeah. Lisa, what's up? White people haven't had to face this, and maybe now we are getting a taste of the fear. Thank you. Thank you for using your platform to spread good in the world. That's a big contribution. Yeah, no, I 100% agree. Agree 100%. Um, Yeah, James. We had riots break out in Indianapolis because of that. The mayor is suing Minneapolis. The positive side, young people gathering in Indianapolis to help the restoration process, cleaning, painting. Yeah, I mean, you try to look at the positive, right? We try to always look at the positive. What can we take from this? Um, let me see here. Yeah, Mike says, when I graduated from high school, MLK was assassinated. Riots were everywhere, including Nashville. Next was Robert Kennedy shot. When I got to college, the university was being sacked by thugs who seized the admin building and set it on fire. All I want to do was get on with my life or with life. Eventually, everything got back to normal. It will happen again. As always, just live. You can't stop these cycles. Yeah, I know. It's just when it happens, it's like, man, can we just, you know, why does it have to happen is always the question, right? Like why? And I know there's always a lesson behind it, right? I mean, I preach that, but it's not easy, not easy at all. Um, Yeah, no, Derek, I get it, man. Black people cannot walk in a white people neighborhood without being accused by the police. Now our young people are facing racism just like they did in the past. Some are experiencing racism for the first time because they never had experienced it until now. We have to talk to our children and tell them to protest without violence, but Trump is igniting the fuel and throwing gas on it. Yeah, like I said, I won't get into politics here, but yeah, yeah, Derek, I'm with you. I'm with you. Okay. Derek says you are doing the right thing by talking about it. Thank you. I appreciate that. What's up, Octavio? Always love Octavio to show up. Give me one of the old rock signs. What's up, my man? Lydia. A lot of people feel the way you do, a lot more than was in the 60s, but hate is still out there. Unfortunately, it's times like this push us forward in growth and understanding and love for all. Yep. Got to love for all, man. Got to love for all. What makes matters worse is that the rioting is happening during a pandemic. You're not kidding. You know, I had someone the other day, their son was supposed to graduate up home where I was from. I say up home in New York. And he had said there, you know, kind of like, you know, during this pandemic, you know, they've held off on graduations, but they've allowed other things and including something like this. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't allow it, but I am saying like we are still in a pandemic, right? And that's a whole nother animal, right? Like people are, I think, you know, people are starting to feel as though it's going away. I'm not ready for that yet. I'm not ready to go out there and just be like, oh, look at this, everything's normal. And so now here we are. We have riots. We have you know, protesting. We have all of this stuff going on. Is that going to spread this and then make that even worse? So you have that to kind of think about. Um, Mike says, hey, Mike, what's up? Hi, love listening to you while I'm working. I try to every day. Certain people want an excuse to do bad things. It is who they are. You can only fight hate with love. Yep. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I mean, again, like, so, and again, I don't want to get too deep here, but like, how is it okay to go in and just kick down the doors to a Target and just start robbing? Like, what, where is that okay? Right? Like, I get it, right? We're upset, but what gives you the right to do that? What gives you the right to just start hurting people, right? Is that really going to help the problem? No, it's just going to add more to the problem, right? So, yeah, I have no words to describe on what I feel because I don't even know myself. I feel that we are in a crazy time right now, something that's going to be in the history books for sure, something our children are going to be telling their children about. But again, and I think Mike had said it, you know, yes, we have to still live, right? But as we're living, we also have to do the right thing, right? And I think this is perfect, right? You can only fight hate with love. I agree. Like you can't hate, right? You have to try to figure out a way to have compassion. I think whenever we have compassion for people, we can start to understand. I mean, even, I go back to, I mean, some of if you've read my Take Action Effect book, I mentioned part of it in there, and I'll probably do another episode coming up soon because I want to. But I came from, a mother who battled with mental illness. And a lot of that was done from her upbringing, from her parents, which it just changed everything for her, which then changed everything for me as growing up. And so the one thing I learned from going through that is we can't try to fix that necessarily. All we can do is we can listen, and we can try to be compassionate, and we can try to put ourselves in those people's shoes the best that we can. We never can. We can't feel what they're feeling. We can only try to imagine what it would feel like. And so I learned that as a young adult, but also as a young kid, watching my mother go through that and trying to understand it, but not being able to understand fully. I mean, she had just a lot of like phobias for going into places and being in public, and the thing is we didn't understand it. And then come to find out later, she was abused as a child and raised by, parents that were alcoholics. And so there was a whole bunch of stuff that had happened that changed her life forever. And that was scarred. Right. But she didn't even know why. So the same thing goes. We can't understand what it's like. I say we, like myself, being a white male, I can't imagine what it feels like to go and feel like that for someone that's of a different race, not even just black, just any race, right? But in this case, we're obviously we're talking about being black. So again, no words. Giving negativity energy to a negative situation will only make it worse. I agree. Positive energy will always overcome negative energy. Agreed. Let's see. Okay. Alte says, I've lived in the U.S. As a foreigner without being able to speak proper English for 3 years. Americans are very kind in general, including police officers. Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? No one is saying that all police officers are bad, but you get the ones that are, and they ruin it, right? Like now they're labeled, right? It's like I was saying before, it's the marketer that's ruining it for all the good marketers, right? You're always going to have that. It just, in this case, you don't want it to be the cost of someone's life. Let's see here. Yeah, that's crazy. James says we had a riot that broke through the doors of a children's hospital and set on fire. That's something I definitely don't understand. The fire was put out immediately and no one was hurt. Well, that's good news. But yeah, that's crazy. Like busting the doors of a children's hospital. Like seriously, why? Oh, the visible. Before I have to leave, I want to say I've been selling on Amazon and I've gained knowledge from some of your older videos. Thank you for the work and continuous work. Yeah, no problem. Thanks for stopping by today. And you'll see us on the next live stream. I hope so. I hope so. Let's see. Our young people were peaceful yesterday and then were attacked and they were doing everything the right way. Yeah, I know. It seems literally like overnight, like everything is, yeah, well, it changed with COVID, and now all of a sudden it changed even in a whole nother direction. Yep, we have to accept, forgive, and not judge. I agree. Yeah. And then Derek says the pandemic is not worse than the fear of racism and racist cops killing black people. Yeah, and I think the thing with the COVID is there's a potential vaccination, right? there's not really a vaccination for the other, right? Yeah, Derek, you're right. The bad police make all the good police look bad. Yeah, 100%. It's like I said, it's the good marketer, the bad marketer, right? It's like you find people that are going to just, they're going to create a label for us that are actually good people, right? And good marketers, or just good people in general, or a good police officer, or a good black person, right? Like, so it's like you have we get these labels, right? And I mean, we all have done it in one way, shape, or form, right? We have prejudged, before we may have gotten to know a certain person. As much as we don't want to, it happens. Why? Because people are starting to be profiled, right? And again, we're talking about this situation, but it could be any situation. Or it could just be a marketer. When I say to someone, if I said, "Hey, I'm a marketer," they'll go, "Oh, you're one of them guys. You're a used car salesman." Like, no, there's good marketers out there that want to do good in the world. Anyway, guys, I did want to just jump on here and do this again. I was almost not going to do it. I'm glad I did. You guys made me feel as though it was a good thing that I did. Makes me also feel, I can kind of share my thoughts with you guys, and hopefully you guys can just take a little bit of what I was sharing with you and think about your own life, your own feelings, and your own family. And again, just remembering that it starts within the home. It starts within the home. And then, we get to, go out there and try to make an impact of some kind, or at least, help people and be supportive and be loving and be giving. That's what it's all about, right? To me, it's about how do we help? How do we love? How do we give? And yes, we can make a living out there doing good things still. It doesn't have to be a hard sales thing, right? And I think that's the big takeaway. But anyway, tomorrow I will be jumping back on. We will probably be doing the topic that I wanted to do today, that I kind of paused, and I just decided to, like I said, pause and let's just take a minute to listen. Let's get together and kind of share our thoughts. And I'm glad I did. All right. So, guys, take today to really think a little bit, and also just listen, right? Listen and see what your heart is telling you, and whatever that is, follow it, follow that and do what's right in your own heart. Because again, I could tell you what I think, but that doesn't mean that what I'm feeling, you should be feeling. And so I think that we just need to, listen a little bit more and listen to our own self, but also listen to, to the world, and listen to, what's happening, and then just try to take it in. And then from there, try to set up your own thing that is making you feel, I don't want to say at peace, but to where you're like, okay, I know that I'm doing what I can, and now I can still carry on with my life, because life can't stop, right? It can't stop. We still need to build a business. We still need to run our business. We still need to, be with our family. We still need to have a moment of laughter. We still need all of those things, but we also need to take time to listen and to see the situation for what it is, but also see what it means for us moving forward, and for us to be, the better person, and to try to help the situation is all I'm really trying to say. Yeah. So anyway, guys, try to stay positive. Okay. And sometimes you got to go to the old, sometimes you got to go to a little bit of reading every now and then. I've got this book by my new friend, John Gordon, who actually is going to be on the podcast tomorrow. His episode airs tomorrow. The guy that wrote The Energy Bus, and the guy that wrote The Carpenter, which I've mentioned here on the podcast and on this morning coffee talk. So guys, try to stay positive. Okay. Try to stay positive, but also listen to the heart, and just be compassionate and listen. And then the actions that you are doing are going to make an impact. Just trust in that. And I think that we'll all be fine, but we got to move forward, but we also have to do the right thing. All right. So guys, that's it. That's going to wrap up this little coffee talk. As always, take care, take action, and I'll talk to you tomorrow, guys. Bye.